On today's show, our esteemed sports talk, the importance of mental health among an era of social media.
And bomb cyclones? TJTV starts now.
Good morning, Jags. It's First Things First period, and that means it's time for our morning show, First Things First on TJTV. I'm Elise.
And I'm Yusuf.
We hope you're having a lovely start to your day on this brisk morning. Speaking of weather and temperatures, the rain yesterday was awful.
From torrential downpours to destroyed gardens.
Let's see what caused this massive storm.
On October 24th, Northern California experienced an intense bomb cyclone. This is a storm that intensifies very quickly. For the Sacramento region, this caused 24-hour rain that shattered the previous all-day rain record that was set in 1880 with a whopping 5.44 inches of rain. This caused streets to flood, and the region's response hotlines were overwhelmed with calls. Many trees fell down, and the surrounding creeks were filled with water by the time the storm passed.
My backyard kind of almost flooded because our backyard drain almost got clogged by all the water and all the leaves and everything.
Global warming has a big part to play in the dramatic weather here in California, whether it's the extreme droughts like between 2012 and 2016, or the extreme rain like in the winter of 2016 and 17. If this weather has anything to show for the upcoming season, we'll be in for a wet winter. I'm Yusuf El-Salema reporting for TJTV.
Before we continue,
let's do a quick reminder and take a quick commercial break.
there's been more and more trash on campus.
Besides looking bad, it's no good for the animals and plants on Toby's grounds.
Let's go to Savannah to see why you shouldn't litter and what you can do to help.
Lately, littering has been a humongous problem among Toby Johnson campus. Let's go with some students and some staff to talk about this issue.
Well, when you finish with your food, anything that you have that's left over needs to go in the trash cans. And of course, anything for recycling, bottles or anything like that that you might have needs to go in the correct container.
It's definitely not a good look for our school to have things out left on the tables and the ground.
I think all the littering is kind of wrong, to be honest.
I think all the litter around the school looks really bad and that we should totally pick up our trash.
We can use all the help we can get. So even if it's not your trash, if you could just pick up one thing a day, can you imagine with all our 1,400 students would really appreciate it.
Responsible and respectful Jaguar would make sure their trash gets put away and that we're not littering on campus.
Think about what Mr. Flutie said. If each of our students picked up at least 1 or 2 pieces of trash a day, our whole school would be spotless. I'm Savannah Horse-Corda reporting for TJTV.
It's really important to talk about the trash problem at our school.
Do you know what else is important to talk about? Sports.
That's because it's time to talk Sports Talk.
Hey guys, I'm Javon, and what time is it? That's right, it's time to talk Sports Talk. Today, I wanted to talk about some really good key plays to why the boys and girls 7th grade basketball teams are going to win the regular season games, the playoffs, and the championship. Let's start off with how good their layups are. And the next one. And what I think is the best floater/layup I've seen so far. Now let's see one of the greatest fast breaks layups from the girls team. And the next one. Now, as most people know, the most anticipated and exciting part of the game is when someone either shoots a 3 or a mid-range shot. And I know for a fact that the girls team does not disappoint. Let's look at this next one. I'm Javon, and I'll see you guys next time when it'll be time to talk sports talk.
It's great to see our teams working together to carry us to victory.
Absolutely. Here at Toby Johnson, there's a special class offered to 8th grade students called Leadership. But what do students do in leadership?
Student Leadership is a class offered at Toby Johnson for 8th graders as their elective. At Leadership, students participate in team-building exercises, plan events for the school, host games at lunch, pass out birthday treats, and recycle plastic and paper every Wednesday. Ms. Kincaid is the teacher in charge of the program. Let's go to her and some leadership students to learn more about this class here at Toby Johnson.
My name is Miss Kincaid, and I teach leadership, and I'm also the activities director here.
Leadership offers a small community, and those students who are interested in building relationships, or they need that that community of students that they can count on, and they know that we are going to work together to do something incredible, you should apply. You learn so many skills that you come in thinking, oh, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to play these games. I'm going to do all of these fun events. But you learn so many skills on how to organize students and people, and how to work with all sorts of personalities, and how to stand up for yourself, advocate for yourself.
Love it. Leadership has impacted my life by helping me with my speaking skills and getting me out of my comfort zone.
The first and number one reason students should apply for leadership is because they want to be involved. Being involved at school is incredible. It makes your year go faster. It gives you purpose. It gives you a sense of belonging, and there's a lot that kind of builds with your self-esteem around being part of something great.
Can I add something?
At Leadership, students learn responsibility, independence, and efficiency, all important leadership skills. Back to you guys.
Leadership students work hard to organize exciting activities and plaster news around the school. In fact, you may have seen posters around school about help for mental health issues and social media.
You may have also even been invited to a mental health Google Classroom. Over the pandemic, many people have turned to social media to cope with stress and loneliness.
Let's go to David to learn about the positives and negatives of social media.
Good morning, Jaguars. Something which has assisted in both connecting and dividing us over the past year has been social media, with platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram being both a contributing and withholding factor of self-image and self-esteem. Experts in the public have mixed views on whether or not social media is detrimental to mental health. There are many examples of how social media can affect mental health in an adverse way.
Social media has a negative impact on the mental health issues because social media just gives people bad information about themselves and discourages people.
Social media can also have some negative effects on your mental health. It's really tough sometimes when you look at things that people post and you start comparing what they're posting and comparing yourself to them, and a lot of times what's being posted on social media may not be reality.
But even with these logical detriments, there are multiple ways in which social media can benefit mental health.
I think it has a positive effect because if you're sad, you can go on there and you can laugh.
But some positives, I think, it's really great to stay connected with people, and social media provides that platform. Stay connected with your family, your friends, people that support you. It's a great way to communicate.
Since the beginning of the pandemic and quarantine, most of the public have taken to social media to relieve themselves of stress. Whether this corresponds with the uptick in deaths relating to suicide remains a debate among experts. This is David reporting for TJTV.
Thanks, David.
Some school threats have been deemed uncredible, but law enforcement has to investigate every threat with caution.
The punishment for making these threats can lead up to a year in the county jail for a misdemeanor, or you can go to a state prison if charged for a felony.
Let's learn more.
Okay. Over the past couple weeks, many schools across Northern California have received threats against student and faculty safety. The Elk Grove Unified School District is no different, with at least 3 threats being made to high schools within the district. The district sent out an email to parents of EGUSD students addressing threats to several Elk Grove high schools. Elk Grove Unified said that they acknowledged the threats against Cosumnes Oaks, Franklin High School, and other Elk Grove high schools. They said, quote, "We are working closely with law enforcement to identify the source and credibility. We will have law enforcement presence at each of the schools mentioned," end quote. In December, law enforcement responded to a threat at a Lodi school. After investigation, authorities say they found the threats non-credible and later arrested a 12-year-old and 13-year-old for posting school threats on TikTok. This growing number of threats is linked to a new TikTok trend of people posting threats against people's safeties at school. The app took to Twitter to say, quote, "We handle even rumored threats with the utmost seriousness," end quote. Later in the post, the app denies that threats were spreading over its platform, saying, quote, "We have not found evidence of such threats originating or spreading via TikTok," end quote. These threats compromise the safety of our schools and strain the resources of our law enforcement. These threats can come with a serious punishment if charged. Reporting for TJTV, I'm Yusuf, and I'll see you back at the desk.
Now, that's all we have for today. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of First Things First on TJTV. I'm Yusuf.
And I'm Elise.
Make today your best day yet.